The animal world doesn't waste any time when it comes to winning someone over. Each species has its own way of drawing attention, and there are some mating rituals so bizarre that it's impossible not to be impressed. From displays of strength to super weird performances, animals really pull out all the stops when it's time to attract a partner. If anyone thinks humans have creative ways to flirt, it's because they haven't seen the tricks these creatures use. And it's exactly those tricks you're going to learn about today. Among gorillas, the dominant male, also called the silverback, has a very straightforward way of winning over the females. He likes to show that he's the strongest and most confident around. To do this, he adopts a very authoritative posture, puffs out his chest, and pounds it with both hands, creating a loud sound that echoes through the forest like a drum. On top of that, he doesn't hold back on his deep growls, making it very clear that he's the boss of the group. The idea is to scare off any rival and, at the same time, impress the females, who seem to fall easily for this display of power. Deep down, all of this also reinforces his status as the leader of the troop, someone capable of keeping order and protecting everyone. In the end, among gorillas, winning over a partner is more about showing strength and security than anything else, and by the looks of it, it works really well. In the cheetah world, winning over a mate is almost a strategy game. Instead of competing on their own, males often form small groups called coalitions to increase their chances of success. Together, they surround the female in a calculated way, almost like a rehearsed dance. The goal is to impress her and make sure she chooses one of them. But cheetah females don't make it easy at all. They're very picky and often just run away from the males before giving them any chance. It seems like they analyze everything carefully, as if they're checking whether that group is really worth it. It's not enough just to surround her or put on a good show. They expect something more. Even when the female does open up, the challenge continues. The males have to prove they have the energy and persistence to keep trying, because deep down, the female wants to ensure her offspring come from the best possible genes. Overall, it's a ritual that demands patience, stamina, and a lot of dedication. For cheetahs, winning someone over goes beyond strength or speed. It's more about strategy and partnership. After all, even the fastest predators need extra effort when romance is on the line. In New Guinea, birds of paradise know that to win over a female, they have to go all in on charm. They start by preparing the space as if they were professional decorators. They clean the area, arrange leaves, and even spread flowers to leave everything perfect, like a stage ready for a show. With everything set, it's time to shine. The males display their super colorful feathers and launch into a dance full of impressive moves. They sway their bodies, spread their wings, and strike dramatic poses, all to grab attention. It's as if every step is choreographed to impress as much as possible. But it's not easy at all. The females are very selective and observe every detail. If the performance isn't amazing enough, they simply ignore it. At that point, the male doesn't give up. He checks out the stage again, fixes whatever can be improved, and starts all over, even more determined. These birds engage in a true artistic battle to win over their partners. It's not enough just to be beautiful. You have to stand out with the sparkle of your feathers, your movements, and even the energy you put into the show. In the end, their courtship looks like a mix of theater and dance, where only the most dedicated manage to succeed. The praying mantis is one of the biggest examples of extreme mating behavior. Here, the female is in charge. The male, knowing he's taking a huge risk, approaches very cautiously, doing a kind of dance to try to impress her. The problem is that if he fails to please her, things can end very badly for him. The female may attack him before mating even happens, simply because she's more concerned about making sure she has enough energy than about forming a couple. And even if he passes the test and manages to mate, it doesn't mean he'll come out unscathed. During or after the act, the female might decide the partner is a convenient snack and end up devouring him. Strange as it may seem, it's all part of their natural instinct. The female needs a lot of energy to produce eggs, and the male, tragic as it seems, is there fulfilling his biological role. The craziest part is that somehow this is accepted in the praying mantis world. In the end, it's just another example of how nature can be surprising and sometimes cruel. After all, while some fight for love, the male praying mantis practically sacrifices his own life for it. The seahorse is one of the most different animals when it comes to mating and family care. It all begins with a very elaborate ritual. Before anything else, the male and the female perform a kind of synchronized dance, full of graceful movements and even color changes. It's as if they're showing they're on the same wavelength, strengthening their bond before moving on to the next step. The most curious part comes after the dance. Unlike most animals, in the seahorse's case, it's the male who takes on the job of carrying the babies. The female deposits her eggs in a special pouch he has on his belly, and that's where the real work begins. Inside that pouch, the eggs stay safe while the male provides them with oxygen and nutrients until they're ready to be born. When the time comes, the male literally gives birth. He expels dozens or even hundreds of offspring from the pouch in a process that looks like small contractions. As soon as they're born, the offspring are ready to face life in the ocean, because in the seahorse world, they don't receive much care afterward. Even so, it's impossible not to be impressed by these animals' dedication. Splitting responsibilities in such a unique way shows just how special seahorses are. They give a real lesson in partnership and teamwork, breaking all the usual rules about who does what in the animal kingdom. The black widow spider has a mating ritual that feels more like a suspense movie than a love story. The male, who is much smaller than the female, knows it's risky from the start. He approaches slowly, making specific moves, almost like a little dance to show he's not there to be eaten but has romantic intentions. If the female is in a good mood and accepts his approach, mating happens. But the real danger comes afterward. Many times the female decides she's hungry and ends up devouring the male. What's wild is that he sort of expects this, but he goes for it anyway, because the instinct to perpetuate the species speaks louder. Some males get lucky and manage to flee after the encounter, but most of the time, they end up as a snack. And as cruel as it may seem, this behavior makes sense. The female needs a lot of energy to produce eggs, and eating the male provides the necessary nutrients to care for the next generation. And while he bets everything to ensure the next generation, the female sticks to her survival strategy. Swans are known as the romantics of the animal kingdom, and that's not by accident. When they find the ideal partner, it's for life. But before they get to that level of commitment, their mating ritual is already quite a show. It all begins with a very synchronized dance. The pair swim side by side, moving their necks so gracefully that, at times, they almost form a heart. It's as if they're showing they were made for each other. This dance isn't just for show, it also strengthens the bond between them. Once they decide to stick together, there's no going back. Swans are dedicated partners who work as a team. They build the nest, take turns incubating the eggs, and protect the chicks with the greatest devotion. Their connection is so strong that if one loses the other, it can take a very long time to recover. In some cases, they don't even look for another mate. This loyalty has become a symbol of eternal love in many cultures, and it's not hard to see why. While many animals have mating rituals full of strange strategies or even danger, swans prefer to keep it classy. With elegant moves and a remarkable dedication, they show that true love does exist in nature and can last forever. Hippopotamuses, which might seem calm and cute at first glance, have a very intense mating ritual full of conflicts. When it's time to win over a female, the males engage in fierce battles. They fight to prove who is stronger and who deserves to mate. These fights are very aggressive, with biting, shoving, and even attempts to drown the rival in the water. The victorious male is the one who manages to secure his territory and the female. But even with all that aggression, the male also tries to impress the female in another way. Once he finally earns the right to mate, he starts showing off his strength, letting out loud noises and shaking his head. It's like he's saying, "I'm the best, check out what I can do." After that fight and the displays of power, the winning male mates with the female. But it doesn't end there. Because they're so territorial, he keeps guarding the female from other males, making sure nobody else comes near. Emperor penguins have one of the cutest but also most demanding mating rituals. When mating season arrives, the males go all out to impress the females. They start with a sort of dance, walking from side to side, bobbing their heads and making a very distinctive sound, almost like a little song to grab attention. Plus, the male offers an unusual gift, a pebble. He picks up the pebble and offers it to the female as a sign that he wants to pair up. If she accepts, it means the female is willing to team up with him. real challenge begins afterward. The female lays a single egg, and the male takes on the responsibility of caring for it while she goes off to eat. The male puts the egg between his feet and stays there, keeping it warm without eating anything and facing brutal cold with snowstorms and freezing winds. He stays in this tough job until the female returns. When she comes back, she feeds him, and together they take care of the chick, taking turns while it grows a bit. The emperor penguin's mating ritual is a true lesson in partnership and dedication. They do whatever it takes to ensure the species survives and to form a family, even in the harshest conditions nature can throw at them. Kangaroos have a very curious and energetic mating ritual. When mating season arrives, the males start facing off in sparring matches to impress the females. They stand upright and throw punches at each other, almost like they're in a boxing ring. It's not really a fight to injure, but to show who is stronger and tougher. These bouts can last a while and require a lot of strength from both males. The male who comes out on top is more likely to approach the female, but that's not all. The winning male begins to show off his impressive jumps, bouncing high to demonstrate agility. It's another courtship move. He wants to show that he's strong, agile, and the perfect partner. After all that effort, if the female likes what she sees, she accepts the male as a mate. The male has to win the fight, and on top of that, impress her with his leaps, all to secure his chance to form a couple. In the end, stamina and effort are what guarantee the survival of the species. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.